This is Logical Logistics, where we cover shipping, supply chain, logistics, and everything in between. Welcome to the show. All right, welcome to the latest episode of Logical Logistics. Today, my guest is Mario Kovatchev. He's president of Air Cargo Inc. A lot of you people out there might know it more affectionately as the ACI, correct, Mario?
That is correct.
All right, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So, I'm glad to have you on because as far as I can remember, ACI has been the gold standard for rates. You come out with a book every year, and it's just what different courier and logistics companies charge for their services. So, what I'd like to do is get a little background on yourself first, and then go into the company and what you have to offer and anything new in the company. So, Mario, can you give me a little background on yourself?
Well, I've been in the air freight industry since 1993. I originally was a contractor for ACI until 2005.
Okay.
2005, ACI, before I owned it, went through a bankruptcy proceedings, and I was able to purchase the assets of the company through a bankruptcy court in 2005, and since then I've been a president and CEO of the company.
Okay, so that's interesting. So in 2005, you took a company that was established in 1941 and apparently fell on some hard times. What type of transition did you put in place to make the company go forward?
Well, I went away from the clearinghouse that ACI was for many years, where all the agents were billing the airlines through ACI, which originally got ACI in trouble after 9/11. A lot of the airlines filed for bankruptcy protection, and those airlines were also owners of the ACI.
Right.
So while they were in Chapter 11, I believe, the judge decided to let them go from the obligations they had to ACI, which were in the vicinity of $10 million, and ACI was left high and dry, which causes the ACI to file for bankruptcy back then, and that's when I came to the picture. I stay away from the clearinghouse line of business of ACI, and I continue with strictly publishing and providing rates, schedules, and zoning to the air cargo industry.
Okay. Can you go back? So how did the clearinghouse work with the airlines for any new?
The clearinghouse, it was that the ACI members were billing the airlines for a local pickup and delivery.
Yeah.
And they do not bill it directly to the airline. They were billing it through ACI.
Okay.
And ACI will turn in and make a little profit from that billing and bill the airlines. And airlines will pay ACI, and then ACI subsequently will pay all of the agents in the network in U.S. and Canada.
Okay. So the airlines they put ACI into some trouble, and then you came along and rescued the company. So go back to so in 2005, your focus, you said you're going to stay away from you stayed away from the clearinghouse, and now you produce what do you produce right now?
We produce data for pickup and delivery rates, zoning, and schedules in various formats. One of them also is the most known is the Air Freight Directory, also known as the ACI Guide.
Okay.
The other way, we open up those to, we basically put them in the web on the web in 2006.
Okay.
So all of that directory was fully searchable online as well, and it was a complimentary given to the subscribers of the air freight directory. We also later on launched other products such as the auto router, which we put logic behind the data, so the user can put in a zip code to zip code and route their shipments and see all of the ACI agents, the pickup and the delivery side, as well as the road feeder service, which is the line haul carriers in the middle. They can estimate rates, including fuel surcharge, accessorials from all the agents represented under the ACI umbrella.
Okay. So obviously there's a membership, correct?
It's a membership-based when it comes to the cartridge agents, and subscription-based when it comes to the freight forwarders and logistics companies and airlines that utilize the data.
All right. And then how the membership, what are the advantages?
Well, the membership gives all the members access to over 1,000 freight forwarders that they can communicate and integrate with them. It basically gives them exposure among the air cargo community. So that's one. They can also check credit scores on all the freight forwarders that they do business with, which is complimentary. They can also contact those freight forwarders through the web portal, through the ACI web portal.
Okay. So it's a good way for companies to find each other and interact, as well as find out what charges are. Now, do you have a certain guideline for charges, or do the members set their own charges and it's an open marketplace where these companies can find each other?
We collect and maintain an actual rates from each individual member. However, in the published rates that we have, those are, we also call them the suggestive rates. Those are zoning and rates that ACI produces, and those are based on research that we do. But in the auto router, however, we show actual rates for each individual member that participates in the program.
Okay. All right. So then, do the members interact with each other? Well, first of all, how many members do you have right now?
How many members?
Yes.
We have about 250 members currently.
Okay. All right. And how do these members interact with? How do they interact with each other? Do they just get the book and go online?
When we compile rates and zones for ACI for the general rates and tariffs, we take in consideration many factors as far such as whether there is a toll plaza reaching specific point out of the airport, whether there's toll roads, whether the zone is heavily industrialized, which obviously has much larger traffic and much heavier traffic of freight going back and forth, or whether it's a purely residential area where there's not enough traffic, and obviously this falls in a more expensive zoning with a more expensive rates, and also the schedules are not as frequent for servicing those points as the heavily industrialized areas around the country.
Okay. Now, what about? I know a big thing now is with companies with the TSA and having their STAs. Do you have a mandatory listing for members to have that online so other companies can know that when they do business with them, they are all up to date with their TSA information?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Last year, we actually launched a thing called TSA Compliance Gateway.
Okay.
We now capture and maintain all the data for each individual cartridge agent with the STA numbers for each individual driver. We update that monthly. All the freight forwarders that are subscribed to the compliance gateway, they have full access to the training data, to the training score, to the STA number of each individual cartridge agent. Also, the freight forwarder themselves, they can do training internally. They can keep scores of tests within the same platform.
Okay.
And they can go and get all the data at once from all of the cartridge members that we represent.
Okay. So, how would they go about a company if they wanted to become a member? They would need to download a file with their STA information.
Member, if you're referring to cartridge agent,
Yeah. Okay.
a new member as a cartridge agent will come to us, and we're gonna review their rates, their services. We're gonna produce an interview to make sure that they're proper fit and they do exactly what and fit the ACI guidelines and manuals for procedures. And if they're correct fits, then we collect that data from them and maintain it on our website.
All right. So now on your website, I believe you mentioned there's a way for companies actually to connect, correct?
Yes, yes, there is. That is through the gateway.
Okay. Now, can you explain in detail how that works?
The way that works is the freight forwarder, who must be an IAC, which
Right.
is an indirect air carrier,
Correct.
has to contact through the web platform, has to contact the agent and give them in electronic format a letter that they represent that they're an IAC, which is a signed letter, which then, based on that, the cartridge agents allow us to release the TSA information to the freight forwarder that is interested in doing business with them and like to utilize their air freight pickup and delivery capabilities for shipments that are being put on passenger aircraft.
Okay. Now, with all these membership, are you noticing any trends in the industry with these with your members? Any is business increasing, decreasing? Are you noticing anything with these companies interacting with each other?
I think it's been staying flat. Those are the same old people and the same cartridge agents. There are very few. The barrier of entry is so high that you have to have really developed business in order to enter it. You can't just get a couple trucks and start doing pickup and deliveries unless you are somewhat established in that.
Okay.
Plus, there is a lot of USDOT and TSA requirements that you have to get through. We haven't seen that many new ones, and we haven't seen many of the old ones getting out of the business.
Okay. All right.
It's been pretty steady.
Yeah.
Now, on the subscription base for the freight forwarders, that's where we've seen a lot of consolidation in the industry, and they are less freight forwarders than they used to be decades ago.
Interesting. All right. Yes. Yeah. That's interesting. You brought that up. So expound on that a little.
Well, during the recession and even back after 9/11, there were a lot of government regulations put in place, which placed the smaller size freight forwarders out of kind of put them in a difficult situation to sustain the business of air freight forwarding. So a lot of them even either stayed with the ground transportation and ocean transportation portion of it. and I decided not to even offer any air freight services. A lot of them got bought out by larger entities, and what we've seen in the transportation industry in general, there's been a lot of consolidation where the big guys go out and buy small size freight forwarders and put them under their umbrella. So that's what the trend that I've seen.
Okay. Now, with the consolidation, are these companies privately held or publicly held companies? A combination of both?
Oh, they're privately and publicly
Okay.
owned companies. We've seen a large behemoth such as Siva or XPO,
Right.
just to name a few.
Yeah.
They're about out of the 10 top performers worldwide in the air freight industry. 8 of them are U.S.-based companies with which are covering the entire world.
Yeah. And then, and I know, so you're based, I actually visited you last week. You're based right next to SFO Airport. Um,
That's
what
correct.
your geographical area of your membership, is it a lot in the San Francisco area, or is it spread out through the United States? How are your members?
Oh, it's spread very largely among the entire United States and
Okay.
Canada, all the major airports in Canada
Oh,
that
great.
cargo is
Okay.
flowing in and out. Also, we have under the umbrella, we have agents that service Guam, American Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, all the territories.
Okay.
So we are not depending on the SFO. I mean, SFO, we have probably 3 agents that are
Interesting.
under
All
the
right.
ACI umbrella only, yeah. Well, in other such stated markets such as Chicago or Los Angeles or Dallas, Texas, there's multiple agents that provide services there.
Right. Now, for a say I'm a company, I want to become a new member. How will this increase my business? Because that's the bottom line. You want correct there is an opportunity to connect with other agents where you would increase your revenues. Correct?
Well, basically, the members, these are agents that we call members.
Right.
And then the freight forwarders, we call them subscribers. So by becoming a member, which is cartridge agent or a line haul company, it basically puts you on a platform that gives you access to do business with a lot of freight forwarders. And that's what all the cartridge agents are looking into when they join ACI.
Okay.
From a freight forwarder or subscriber point of view, it does not really increase their business dramatically, but it increases their demographics of service and ability to provide door-to-door services for their clients.
Okay. All right. Then I maybe we touched on this before. Can you go back? How are the rates dictated, or are they open rates? Is it open marketplace, or do you have a guideline that you go
Well,
by?
we have a guideline rates, which
Right.
are the ACI general rates and tariffs,
Yeah.
which are followed by the industry. But however, some agents, some members like to present lower rates in order to read business their way.
Yeah.
So in a little under the outer router, we present those rates to all freight forwarders so they can see an actual rate that cartridge agents is billing for that particular service. The ACI general rates are mainly used for to estimate pickup and delivery, and it's just an estimate kind of rate.
All right. Well, great. Once again, my guest today is Mario Kovatchev. He is the president of Air Cargo Inc., or as you probably know it, ACI. Mario, what is the best way for a company or individual to contact you?
Through our website, it's the best way.
Okay.
This way, they'll get one of our representatives available almost immediately, and that's what I would suggest. Also, they're welcome to call in to our 800 number, which is 866-950-9050.
And what's the web address?
The web address is aircargoinc.com.
Okay. aircargoinc.com, people. So it's aircargoinc.com or 866-950-9050. Will they be contacting you? I know you have a Kate Simmons who works for you. She does wonderful work.
Yes.
I just want to give her some props. Hope you don't mind. But would they be contacting her or yourself?
Through the website, it will simultaneously it will go through all people involved in that, including her and me, and we'll be able to reply with any inquiries.
All right. And to end up, I asked this question of all my guests, and you are just another example of how wide the term logistics reaches with all the different members you have and services. What does the term logistics mean to you?
To me, logistics means when a company is involved with logistically managing and ensuring on-time delivery of multiple loads to the same location or out of the same location to arrange multiple loads arriving to different destinations, or even a single load. Or a single load is not that complicated and can be just sent from point A to point B, and it's not that much of a logistics difficulties to produce that. I in my view, I understand logistics as say, for example, you have a oil crew in South Africa, and the parts are coming from all over the world, and they need to be delivered for a certain installation time and day of the year. That all of this can come together and for the project to be completed. That, in my view, is logistics. That's what I see as logistics, because it takes a lot of logic behind how to get everything together on a certain day. Other than that, I don't think logistics term should be used for getting one piece from one place to another, from point A to point B. That's with the tools that we have online nowadays, it's pretty a no-brainer, and it can be done easily. So that's my take on it.
Well, thanks, Mario. Once again, my guest today is Mario Kovatchev, president of Air Cargo Inc. Best way to reach him is 866-950-9050 or at aircargoinc.com. We talked about you offer credit profiles, compliance gateways, complete company profiles. You even do email blasts for members. So
That's right.
It's a real valuable tool. Mario, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Joe.
All right,
Appreciate
have a great day.
Okay, you too.
And we'll see you next time on Logical Logistics.
Click the subscribe button for new videos every week and download us and review us on iTunes. Visit www.beslogistics.net for more logistics, transportation, and warehousing resources. Thanks for watching.